Next on News Channel 20 at 6, President Barack Obama speaks about Ebola, the newest strategy to stop the disease from further spreading in the U.S.
Women always are worried about everybody else in their lives and not themselves.
Be aware, Women's Fair, what this event is encouraging women to start doing right away. The warning for ladies only. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Lindsey Hess. President Barack Obama is urging Americans to stay calm tonight as government investigators are on alert for more cases of Ebola. Meanwhile, the CDC's new rapid response teams are ready to help hospitals anywhere Ebola is detected. The two nurses infected while treating Thomas Duncan, the first person in the U.S. diagnosed with Ebola, still battling the virus in specialized isolation units. The 75 other healthcare workers involved in Duncan's treatment are being monitored. They've been told to avoid public places and public transportation. Before that ban was issued and before Amber Vinson was diagnosed, she flew from Dallas to Cleveland and back. The CDC now saying the nurse may have already started showing symptoms at that time. More than 100 people in Ohio, including other passengers and Vinson's family members, are now being monitored as a precaution.
We look at the most involved and detailed tracking of individuals that had direct blood and body fluid contact.
Meanwhile, another Dallas healthcare worker who handled Duncan's blood samples is now in quarantine on a cruise ship. Even though she's not showing symptoms, the Carnival Magic cruise ship with more than 3,600 people on board is heading back to Texas. U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, however, is joining other Republicans calling for a travel and visa ban. Kirk says the public isn't confident that the president and the Centers for Disease Control are ahead of the Ebola threat.
He was wrong about how fast we had to move. He was wrong about letting that one passenger fly to Cleveland. And he's been wrong so many times, would say to the president. The reason why the country is so concerned about this is because this director is not doing a good job.
A former health secretary says he sees a number of problems with the travel ban and reveals the Bush administration considered one to contain bird flu. A historic site in Springfield has a new exhibit for fans of nature. The Dana Thomas House celebrated its new butterfly garden this afternoon. Butterflies inspired some of Frank Lloyd Wright's designs at the Dana Thomas House. The garden was installed by volunteers at the White Cottage, which is right next to the house itself. This afternoon, a butterfly expert was at the historic site to offer tips on how to attract butterflies to your own garden. Still ahead on First News at 5:30, making the best of a rainy day. An annual softball game in Danville canceled due to storms. Why those involved say their mission continues despite the rain delay. In news for the St. Louis Rams, quarterback Sam Bradford left yesterday's game with an injury, what his MRI results showed in sports. While the press took photos, one voter took the opportunity to joke with Obama about his girlfriend. Jim Williams has the details. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reportedly blaming budget cuts for the slow response to the Ebola outbreak. But at a time when the CDC's budget was cut or remained flat, it still handed out generous bonuses to top health officials. According to the website American Transparency's Open the Books, some public health workers have pocketed a hefty $25 million in bonuses since 2007. That's on top of the $6 billion paid in salaries over the same time frame.
What we're finding is that they're able to find money to reward themselves, but also use budgetary constraints as a cry and as an excuse for not dealing with the problem or the Ebola crisis that they've been dealt.
In 2011, a year when federal wages were frozen because of tight budgets, one deputy director received a nearly $63,000 bonus for using budgetary constraints as an excuse for the mishandling of Ebola. The CDC wins this week's Golden Hammer.
Lindsey, how's it going so far?
It's going great, Vince. For the last 41 years, families have been coming out here to Chatham Community Park to help shuck sweet corn. Now, there are 14,000 ears of sweet corn being shucked. And if you've ever shucked a large quantity of sweet corn, you know it's painstaking work, but these volunteers are pros. And actually, Tracy Formia, she is going to challenge me to see how quickly I can shuck an ear of corn. But you've been doing this a while, right, Tracy?
I have experience, 10 years.
All right, a little more experience than me, but we're going to try this anyway. All right, are you ready, Tracy?
I am.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Neck and neck.
Oh!
Uh-oh, struggle again. Come back. Oh, no.
Ah! Oh! It was so close, but the experience obviously paid off. I need a little bit more practice, Vince, but again, the Sweet Corn Festival kicks off tomorrow night at 4:30. 5 o'clock is when the Sweet Corn Festival pageant kicks off, so it's a weekend of entertainment, so come on out here to Chatham. Live in Chatham, Lindsey Hess, ABC News, Channel 20. So far, state reports indicate 59% of the state's corn crop has been harvested. Alan Bailey says there are some pretty bad ruts in a lot of fields throughout the area, and it's going to take several freezes and thaws this winter to fix the problem ahead of spring planting. Live in Sangamon County, Lindsey Hess, News Channel 20 at 5.
Well, it was another gorgeous day yesterday, beautiful fall day, and we'll see nearly a carbon copy of that today. Right now, we're seeing clear skies, and we'll see plenty of sunshine all day long. No clouds. We will see some clouds roll in tomorrow afternoon as this warm front starts to push into our direction. Just ahead of that, this cloud cover will start to come in again tomorrow afternoon. That will bring us a slight rain chance as well. That'll start about after 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Any showers should diminish by sunset tomorrow, and the rainfall shouldn't amount to a whole lot, about 1/10 of an inch or less throughout central Illinois. So again, we were trying to slide by with no rain, but we're not going to see a whole lot, and we should stay dry the rest of the week. Sunny skies gave way to rain and clouds, but those warm temperatures did continue. When we take a look at the satellite radar, we can see those rain showers moving through the area. Also, a lot of cloud cover across central Illinois. When we zoom out, we can see the rain and thunderstorms are coming in from the south. There's a lot more rain on the way. This system developing in the west is going to move across the Midwest into our area and will bring us cooler temperatures, rain, and thunderstorms.
Kareem Ellis spends his days as a barber, worried if his 2 children are being treated fairly at school.
Here in America, we always going to have racism regardless if you want to believe it or not.
But these community leaders say racial inequality shouldn't be happening in our community, especially not in school.
We are expelling youth in the 2nd grade.
School board member Judith Johnson attended Thursday night's town hall meeting and says while she believes more black students than white students are expelled at Springfield schools, it's a problem that's being addressed.
It's better for them to be in school than to be wandering around the streets. And so hopefully we can improve those days and we can educate educators about student behaviors, and maybe they can look at them from a different perspective.
Ellis says that situation could improve if there were more black teachers in Springfield.
I believe urban kids, like here in the neighborhood, they can relate better to situations, and like if it's a hostile situation versus a white teacher or a black teacher come and talk to the kids, I believe they'll be able to relate to them and be able to calm them down more than someone they can't relate to.
Currently, the district fails to meet orders by a consent decree that essentially requires more African American teachers within the district, something that hasn't gone unnoticed by the NAACP.
We have our Minority Recruitment Committee, and they are working along with our district personnel in terms of trying to recruit minority teachers. Right now, you know, there's a nationwide shortage.
Students are also not relating to the district's curriculum. Those at the town hall meeting say Black history needs to be taught year-round.
There's no way that we can be productive without it being in the school. It goes back to that it's a systematic problem in an indirect way, subliminal messages.
Which isn't helping Ellis's children understand where they came from.
A lot of kids, you can ask them about the history, about black icons, African American icons, and they might know about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Harriet Tubman, the more famous ones. They can tell you about them, but they can't tell you about the real ones who went through the struggle.
Tonight's debate is happening in Peoria, and it's the southernmost debate on the candidate's schedule, leaving many voters to our south wondering why they're being left out. The land of Lincoln, 390 miles long. In northern Illinois, you'll find the nation's third largest city and its suburbs. But as you begin traveling south from there, that's when the dividing lines begin to blur, begging the question, where is southern Illinois?
Everything that is Chicago on down.
The Edwardsville area all the way to the Indiana border and south of that.
From Vandalia south.
South of Cater.
South of Effingham.
One of the three gubernatorial debates between Bruce Rauner and incumbent Pat Quinn is happening in Peoria, the other two in Chicago.
I wish they would come down here and debate.
I think it's wrong. They should do the whole state.
That seems like a slap in the face to central and southern Illinois.
But the Rauner campaign disagrees. In a statement to Channel 20, his spokesman says the scheduled debates reflect the diversity of our state.
The middle of the state, fine. But no, they don't. There's a lot of issues down there that especially with the coal industry that's gone down.
And I think each region of the state really represents something different, and I think that they are ignoring a big part of the state by not going any further south.
A big part is right. According to University of Illinois Springfield political science professor Kent Redfield, southern Illinois makes up around 35% of the vote.
This is a huge part of the Illinois electorate, and I think it's a disservice not to get as much exposure as you can throughout the state.